Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry. Had to. It's the problem with doing everything on everything on one thing. Is that I had to attend to a bunch of things at once. So thank you for bearing with me. Yeah, so I have to get front brake pads on the car, which is not surprising. I knew that those were going to be due at some point, but it's like, and again, the car is 75,000 miles on it. 75,000 miles, you get new brake pads. That's not. It went for 75,000 miles using the old brake pads. So this is just regular maintenance using a car. So. War of the Rohirrim's composer is Stephen Gallagher. He was part of the music crew on Lord of the Rings? Hold on a second. Text message. Okay, good. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh. No, it's not a huge operation. He already had the wheels, like the tires up. But the thing is, you have to put the car up, right? You have to take the tires off. Then you have to take the brake pads off. And so once you're already doing a lot of that to test, once it's up there and you've already taken the stuff out to inspect how much there's left in the brake pads, then changing the brake pads itself doesn't take as long because you've already got the stuff off. But, in my case, I was like, I need to leave here basically in about an hour to go pick up my daughter, grab my daughter from school, go run and get my hair cut, which is, about 15 minutes from there, give or take, maybe 20. So get my hair cut, and then everything after that calms down a lot, and I don't have to worry about it. But everything is like a very careful chain of events happening, at least early on. So yeah, that's cool, Echo. So again, it's like, and the thing is, so here's the thing, right? If you don't spend the money, because it's like $800. If you don't spend the money on the brake pads, then what happens is, eventually you go down below the brake pads, and then you start cutting into the caliper on the car, and then all of a sudden you start hurting the rims, and then you have a much bigger expense. Then you're replacing the inside rims of the cars, and that's like, I don't know, it's a lot of money, basically. So you do this now, and you're spending $800. You don't do it, and you're spending like $3,000 later. So it's like, this is why regular maintenance matters, because you can sort of be caught up on that stuff. And that's the thing, like, once I get this, right, this car will not need this for another 75,000 miles. Like, you won't need to get these brakes fixed for another 75,000 miles. But in the meantime, when cars get to a certain age, that sort of happens where you have to replace some things, so. Especially because brakes are not something you can skimp on, right? Like, maybe you could get away with having a heater not work, or having one of the windows not be easy to open or something. You can't get away with having non-functional brakes. That does not compute. So, so we shall see. And then I have to go through this again next Friday with my newer car. Because the older car, this one is 75,000 miles on it, and now the newer car is 100,000 mile service. So, expenses that are part of everyday existence that no one thinks about when you're doing them. It's one thing to say you budget, like I spend this amount of money per month for food, I spend this amount of money for gas, I spend it whatever. You can't budget things where it's like, all right, every so often you're going to need to get brakes fixed, It seems like you're. I know that you're in the cinema club, Echo, but it seems like your cinema has got like lots of. It seems like your cinema has got lots of. Like, they seem like they have their finger on the pulse of good films. You know what I mean? Like it feels like one of those like community theaters that, sort of knows the people and like knows. Loves showing cinema and like, loves showing film, and like the people who go there love film and everything. It seems like a good place. Like it's like having a local bookstore that you trust or a local game store. That's what it feels like. It's been majorly Norwegian films. What's the Norwegian film scene look like, Echo? How would you describe the Norwegian film scene? Yeah, is it? That's interesting. Is there any reason for that? I mean, Norway's awesome and all, but like any particular reason that right now people are all into Norwegian film? Several films based on folklore tales and several disaster films. That's cool. Would you say, Echo, that Norway? Would you say that Norway is the Hollywood of Scandinavia? Like, if you looked at, Finland or Denmark, would you say that like Norway is clearly the place to be for films? Yeah, like, I love the idea that suddenly Norwegians are like, we need our own film industry. Screw you, Bollywood. It's time for Norwegian wood. That's genius. Hollywood in Norway. It's Norwegian wood. Oh yeah. I can't see any copyright problems with that at all, Chad. You've heard of Hollywood. You've heard of Bollywood. Have you heard of Norwegian wood? No one's ever thought of that before. Yeah, that's fair. And you could have all these great slogans that no one's ever thought about before. Isn't it good? Norwegian wood. It'd be great. No one's ever conceived of that. It's a perfect, totally original concept. I once had a film, or should I say, it once had me. We've asked you to stay. Isn't it good? Norwegian wood. It'd be great. Man, Norway needs to pay me for their PR. Norway needs to pay me for their PR. Operation Napoleon, huh? Is it? And it's a modern. Is that more modern, Echo? Modern takes place on Iceland. That's cool. Yeah, I've been in the Icelandic airport. I've been in Iceland's airport in Reykjavik, and I've been, obviously I've been to Norway, I've been to Oslo, I've been to Bergen, I've been to Flom. I've never been to Sweden, never been to Finland, I think, and I've never been to Denmark. I've actually never been, only country I've been to in Scandinavia is Norway. Technically, Little Arv has been too, even though she was at the time, she was a fetus. So my wife was carrying her internally. based on a true story. Yeah. Well, Law and Order does that whole ripped from the headlines, right? Yeah, no, totally. Because based on a true story, based is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, right? Like based, it could be, I heard this once and then decided to go in a very different direction. Based on a true story. Yeah, what were the documentaries about? Oh gosh. Fedrinland it. Oh. So it's basically a documentary where Norway gets to show off Norway, which is a very Norway thing. They're always like, oh, you have to take this train across Norway. What a shame. It means you have to see all of Norway. And you're like, mm-hmm. Been there. Someday, Echo, I have to do on stream, I have to do a what do you call it? Screening of the film I did, which was when my wife and I were doing our review podcast called Upon Further Review. And we did a film edited by yours truly. Yeah, it would be fun to show that sometime. I don't actually even think the kids have seen that. They've seen parts of it. But yeah. My one feature-length documentary film. Documentary of me. It's about a guy named Rinnan and his rival Rinnan. And Rinnan battle each other across Norway, giving you a chance to see spectacular scenery of Norway. I'm waiting to see what this synopsis is. This is going to be some pretty serious stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed Norway. I liked Bergen a lot. Oslo was fine. Oslo was just a big city. Flom was beautiful, but it was very isolated. And then Bergen was great. The Jews are sent to the camps. Karl Isovich changes his name to Karl Adding. Joins a resistance movement with friends of his childhood. Has great trust there. Same time, he rises to the ranks of the Gestapo and becomes one of Henry Oliver Rinnan's argest, so like greatest maybe, his greatest rivals. Perhaps I'm just ignorant. Who is Rinnan? I don't know who Henry Oliver Rinnan is. Should I? Should I know who Henry Oliver Rinnen is? I am not familiar. Yeah. Interesting. That's pretty cool. No, you get to meet his grandson who explores his past. It's cool. Yeah, I've not heard of that. That's pretty cool. Henry Rinnen. Yeah, I see it. Thank you. Again, I'm not going to be able to look at it right now because I'd be looking on my phone, which is, being used for this. But I will check that out later on. Never heard of that. Never heard of that. It's cool though. Yeah, I was trying to think about what is the greatest documentary I've ever seen. I have to think about that. I'm not a big Michael Moore guy, who's the guy who did Roger and Me and Columbine, Bowling for Columbine and stuff like that. I'm not a huge Michael Moore fan, but Roger and Me is so good that I might claim that may be the best documentary I've seen. The problem is that his stuff is not all documentary. The problem is that he kind of screws with it a little bit for effect. And it's really good, but it's not 100% truth-driven. And so, because if I felt more that the sort of presentation was more reliable, I might be tempted to say that it was something by Michael Moore. But I can't trust him. And then there's Ken Burns, obviously. The thing about Ken Burns, though, is that his stuff is so enormous. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some people have. I never saw the entire Civil War documentary. Civil War is incredible. I saw parts of it, but the thing is 8 separate things each 2 hours. It's 16 hours or something. Right. Especially if the documentary is something of immense importance. I agree with you about the singing in the cinema, although, so here's the thing though. There is the big difference there. There are, I actually went to, I took my daughter many years ago when she was much younger, to a Moana sing-along in the theater, where literally it's they even have lyrics on the screen with the bouncing ball, Moana, make way, Moana, you hardly knew, and it's doing the little bouncing ball thing. You're supposed to be singing in that. The whole point is it's a sing-along, right? So that's different. But most of the time, yeah. I've heard really good things about Wicked. Yeah. But that's where you're getting into it. So if you go to that, and then you're mad that people are singing, you're in the wrong spot. But you know that ahead of time. If you're just going to a regular sort of thing, yeah, I don't know. Singing in the cinema along with Wicked. The problem would be if they're trying to sing Defying Gravity, because that's one of those songs that everyone thinks that they can hit every note. No, you can't. Idina Menzel is a legend for a reason, right? And whoever the woman is that's playing her now, I don't remember who it is, you have to be a legend to sing that song. That song is hard. And so people who are I can sing well, not this way, my dude. Okay. Truth depends on your point of view. I just showed Darth. I just finished showing Star Wars in my Star Trek to Star Wars class. So the last week of class, the last full week of class, I actually showed them New Hope, which a couple of them hadn't seen. Most of them had, but a couple of them hadn't. And then Monday we have our final class, and then the week after that is final exams. So, yes, that's a film to shut up and enjoy. Yep. And the people, you know that the people who play Elsa and not Elsa. Oh God, what's their names? Oh my gosh, the neighbors. Von Trapp's neighbors. I can't even remember their names. But anyway, the ones in the film, my mother acted with those because my mother was in the traveling company of The Sound of Music on Broadway. And so she acted with the people who were in the film and in the original Broadway musical. But I can't remember who the actual name of what the characters were. So, yeah. Yep. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. I wonder if I can show... No, I guess I can't. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I know I've mentioned it before with her. That's it, Darth. Sorry, Echo. I may have just... I know I've talked about her before. But when I hear Sound of Music, I immediately think about that. And yeah, it's exactly right. It's like when you sound good in the shower, Darth. You sound good in the shower. To yourself. In the shower. You know. Yeah. Yeah, they did a lot. They did a lot. They had very full lives, yeah. Both of them in their own way. I mean, my dad just did a bunch of different things. And, you know, my mother with this extensive acting and then teaching career. So, yeah. Yeah, my mom, it's November because my mom passed away she passed away in late October of 2009, and my dad was November 1998. So my dad has been gone now 26 years, and my mother has been gone 15. That's bizarre. 15 years, yeah. Yeah. Man. Yep. Because my daughter was like a year and a half when she passed. And so really doesn't remember her. So she is, and my father are actually out in a cemetery in New Jersey. And not within the last year. I do need to get back out there because it has been over a year. And so, yeah. 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 I was just showing a picture of her actually to my son. And I showed this picture on stream a year or two ago that I found of like her when she was in her 20s in some kind of cabaret style outfit. My son was like, my son had never seen her. So he'd seen like a couple pictures, but he'd never seen that picture from when she was that young. And so he's like, oh, That's interesting, Echo. Well, I mean, the biggest thing you bring is yourself, right? Your presence, that's the biggest thing. I mean, I thought about that when I lost my oldest friend last year. January of last year, I believe it was. I lost my oldest friend to cancer. I've talked about him before, my friend Ewan. And, I brought myself. I mean, I was the one who gave the eulogy, so I brought myself and I brought my, I brought my words. But it was, yeah, what do you say, in a way, to the spirit of the person themselves? Like, it's one thing to say things to living people, which I do for a living. For a living, I speak to the living. But, talking to those who have passed, that was a whole different thing. So, yeah.
Program number 1 doesn't have an item code. Program number 2 doesn't have an item code.
I'm sorry to hear that, Darth. Yeah, that's it's difficult, and it's like when you do figure it out, when you figure out what they are, it makes a huge difference when you feel like you have a handle on what's going on. But it's fair, even if it's a difficult diagnosis or whatever, knowing what you're dealing with is helpful, I think. But the not knowing, man, that's hard. I have another friend that is dealing with that with his parents right now, with his father, and same situation. Where it's like one thing or another, it's like we think we have this figured out, and then they figure this other thing out. And actually, two friends of mine, two people I know, are dealing with that. Yes. I actually, and I mean, I did, obviously I was in that, I participated in that event. And yes, I've talked to Gregory about some of this stuff before. The question is, the reason that, I hope it's not, obviously, Darth, but again, diagnoses and early diagnoses, though, really do matter. So, we have a friend of ours who's over a 20-year now breast cancer survivor. So, she's still doing fine. So, it depends. Obviously, it's always different for everybody. The only thing about the Games Not Cancer thing is I'm obviously, it's a great, I'm certainly in favor. The issue is when we do stuff with ArvCon, what I look for is sort of sponsorship. I don't want to diffuse the gifts where some of it's going to one and some of it's going to another, because I really want the focal point to be Damon Runyon. And I also want the support, either financial or game-based or something, to support the cause that we have. So that's the only thing. I'm very much in favor, and in fact I've retweeted and talked to Gregory. I'm a huge fan of Gregory separately from that. Like, I like Gregory a lot. Gregory's responsible for having kept several of my websites, including arvanelron.com, running. So big fan of Gregory. But thinking about making sure that I maintain the focus for ArvCon is important. But I'm not. I'm certainly not, averse to talking up both causes, But I also like Damon Runyon because now we have a very close relationship with them, of course, and I know what the money's going to. I see what they've done with this stuff. It's sort of hard to imagine that they've made the corrections that they have, not just to extend life, but to actually reach cures in certain cases. That's been amazing to watch. And so, Star Wars game starting soon, TM. But we now, at least we're at the point now where there's like regular contact among and between everybody. Everyone's busy, especially scientists. But one of the reasons I want that Star Wars game running is that I would love to be able to show the support for Damon Runyon and just sort of have focus on them to a degree more than just at ArvCon, right? I want to be able to have it longer than that. That doesn't mean that I'm expecting people to be giving to them every month. I'm not asking for that. But just awareness of it is a good thing regardless. So that's why I want this bloody Star Wars game going. But we're now in a position where it is going to be starting, quite soon. But spiraling up to get it there has been a challenge. Because busy scientists, too busy being heroes and stuff. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been thinking a little bit about what, just briefly about what ArvCon. There's going to be some big events happening that I'm sort of configuring for ArvCon 2025, and that's going to be our 11th year of ArvCon. So, so yeah, that's cool. No, listen, I'm definitely looking for that, and also financial sponsorship is helpful. Specifically, like matching stuff. Like what I would love is to be able to have a company that comes in and we say, if we reach, like for example, last year we made 5,500 or something, 5,000 something, and we've made over $30,000 since we started this 10 years ago. So my thought was, I would love to have a company that does a matching thing where it's like, if we reach 5,000, it doubles it to 10,000. They match it to 10,000. If we do 6,000, we double it to like 12. That would be sick. I would love to partner with a company that would be willing to do that. That would be great. You want to win one of them, I know. Hey, listen, you've won prizes though. You got the pack of stuff. You got the last set of games or books, whatever it was, right, Echo? You got the package that I sent to you. You have gotten some of them. You just haven't gotten the top prize. You need to listen, Echo. You need to talk to your boy Hillness and or Dragonspear. Hillness, Dragonspear, Carlos Hernandez, and then sometimes there's a random like game not game. Sometimes there's someone who comes in and is like sort of goes over the top. You know. Well, but I'm talking about the contributor though. I'm talking about the one who comes in. Like the problem is every year Hillness and Dragon get into this big like back and forth sponsorship war because they want to win the prize and also because they're trying to help cancer. Like it's all in good fun, right? So they're always like battling each other, which is always very funny to see. So yeah, books, games, audiobook, and 2 dice sets. Yeah. Yeah, no, don't forget Prince Justin's one too. You get Prince Justin's, you got that. You get the prize pack from Free League. So sometimes they do, yes. I have been told that they sometimes do, that they save up for that because one, it's fun, right, for them to do it, and two, it's obviously for a great cause. And you know, Dragonspear, this is, you know, he and I have very close connections because of connections with our fathers. We had similar relationships with our fathers and similar situations with, you know, I won't get into it, but like just, yeah. So there are similarities there, and Hillness deals with this too, so. You have space, you have so many video games. You know what you need, Echo? You need one of those, they have the new billboards now, where like the digital billboards, where every so often like they change the picture. You need to get one of those like things where it's like you put all the posters up and they're all on like pivot things. So like every like, I don't know, 7 days, like it pivots and like shows you another poster. And then you just get like, I don't know, 20 of those. You just run them along your walls and then you're good to go. Then a massive digital frame, yeah. No, it's just like, I mean, I have that in my office. Like my office is biggest office I've ever had, easily the best office, easily, not within, you know, miles better than any office I've ever had. But even there's limited room. You know, you can only put so much up there. So, you know, I put a lot of it up, but there's other things where I'm like, I don't know, it would be cool to put up a picture of this, but like, where do I have room? You know, so. Like eventually, you know, Drew and Prince Justin, have both sent me like extras sometimes of their work for me, which is an incredible honor and it's amazing and it looks amazing. But I'm like running out of room. Like in terms of some places, like there's still places I still have room for now, but there are moments where I'm like, dude, I don't know where I'm gonna put. But I don't want to like, because they're all amazing and it's like inspirational, and they're, you know, so. Yeah, move to the Dome for to move to the volume. I heard good things about Skeleton Crew. I heard a couple of people talking about how it's actually really, really good. So I need to check that out. And Skeleton Crew is filmed at the volume. But yeah, pictures and okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll probably be signing off here in a minute or two because they're gonna call me. They should be calling me shortly, and then I'll be picking up my vehicle. So if I don't see you before you get back, Echo, have a lovely day, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow or next time I'm on. Fast car. Yeah. Like, sir, you need a new car. I'd be like, what? Sir, we've concluded we need to change your entire car. What? Yes, we're changing your RAV4 to a RAV5. That's not even a thing. We've decided you have too many RAVs. We have to drop you down to a RAV3. What? Your car isn't RAVing properly. We're going to need a new RAV. Oh, this is the dude who did with Tracy Chapman. He did the cover of Fast Car, and I can't remember his name. He was good. He did a good job with this. We need to install a new vroom motor. We need to install a new driver. I'd be like, okay, wait, I'm the driver. Yes, sir, we need to install a new one of you. So yeah, hopefully that should be all. Is just this thing. Like I said, you know, it's going to save me money down the line. It's all sort of long-term thinking. So if you spend the money in the short term, you save the money in the long term. That's the theory. And I have to leave this area in 25 minutes. Ideally it would be 20, but at least 20. 20 would be better, but at least 25. Yeah, exactly. You could do the Colombo. Just one more thing. The just one more thing classic. See, if I'm a villain in a Columbo thing, right, what I do is like, all right, thank you very much, and then I freaking book it. So that when he's like, one more thing, oh, you're left. You don't want Columbo to have the last word. You don't want the just one more thing. Just one more thing. Not now. You wait for him to do the reveal that he doesn't know everything, and then you run away before he can be like, just one more thing. Here's the actual reality of what happened, and you're screwed. You know. So yeah. All right. Well, I think, Chad, I am going to close up shop for today then, because I do need to get ready to head over there for when they call, so I can pick up my daughter, go get my haircut, hang out with my daughter, and do stuff going on. So I will be back tomorrow night at hopefully at 9 p.m. to 9:30. Now that's tentative. It depends on how the traffic is getting back from my friend's wedding dinner in the city. I'm going to be done at the dinner is supposed to be done at 7, and if I get out of there like 7:15, then I should be able to get back 8:45, 9ish. But that's you know, who knows? Like sometimes they do road work at night, it slow things way down. So that's why it's very tentative. Might be very late, might not be at all, or it might be at the time that I listed, which is about 9. But we're going to do more Dark Sun Shattered Lands. So you know all the ways to do the things: support, follow, do all that good stuff. And yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. I will be doing more of this, I think, next Friday because I'll have the other car. But for right now, that's going to be it. So much love to all of you. Everyone, take care of each other. Be good to yourselves and good to each other. And I will, yes, thank you, Darth. And I will catch you folks hopefully Saturday evening for more Dark Sun. But until then, everyone be good. See you soon.